If you're thinking about getting a Tesla or just curious to know what it's actually like to live with one, stay tuned because I'm going to be giving a no BS review on my 2024 Model 3 rear-wheel drive. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Eddie. I know it's been a while, but today I'm going to be breaking down my full 2-year experience with my 2024 Tesla Model 3, the real pros and cons about this car. No BS. Back in June 7th, 2024 is when I finally took the leap of faith and got my first EV Tesla Model 3. As you guys know, I'm going to be showing you guys some pictures, some photos of when I got this car. I was very fortunate enough to get this car when I was 22, and I'm glad I got it. It has been a great experience with this car, and I couldn't be any happier. I put around 43,000 miles in this car under 2 years. The average person drives around 13 to 15 miles a year, so I've kind of doubled that, or 1.5 to each year. So I have been driving quite heavily with this car. So I'm going to be giving a little bit different perspective if you're a high mileage driver like I have been, because this is going to matter a lot to you. So we're going to start off with the cons here. Number one is going to be the range anxiety. This thing is real. I've never felt this really with the gas vehicle as much because there's a gas station in every corner of every block basically. But with the Tesla, there's only limited chargers, at least where I'm from. I'm in the state of Kentucky, so there's only really certain bigger cities that have one supercharger. And if you live in the smaller cities, you won't have a supercharger. So if you don't have a charger at home, this is going to be a little bit more range anxiety than if you did have one at home. So that's where I'm coming from. I did not have a home charger. I just took a leap of faith and figured it out. So on paper, the Model 3 has about 280 miles of range. Sounds great until you actually drive 2 hours plus. Then you start kind of feeling like it's not that good. So like I said, if you don't have a home charger and you're just going with the flow and just trying to figure things out, you got to figure out how to charge the car at least before you travel the 2 hours, or at least have enough charge to make it somewhere on your way to wherever you're going, to make sure you have a supercharger on the way. Try and charge it to 100% so that by the time you get to your other location and they don't have a supercharger, you at least have enough to get back to your middle point. If not, you're gonna have to find some janky ways, and I did make a video about this where I was trying to find outlets when I was working or downtown. I'll show some of those videos, or you can just watch the video. I'll try and link it down in the description below if you guys want to see some of the janky ways that I was charging my car when I first got it. Because I was living in a smaller town in Kentucky that didn't have a supercharger. There was a supercharger 30 minutes away, so I had to figure out ways to charge my car. But then I ended up moving to another city in Kentucky that actually has a supercharger, which made things a little bit easier, and my range anxiety kind of diminished just a tad bit once I actually got hands-on with the car and figured out how I'm going to be doing some of these things. So like I said, when I first started out, I was probably charging at the garage. We had an outlet, a very one that you would have at your house to charge your phone, microwave, whatever. When I was living in that smaller town, I plug it up with my mobile charger. Highly recommend getting a mobile charger if you don't have a supercharger, or if you don't have a home charger. It's gonna save your butt. 100% will. I would just charge it because I would only drive in the small city for 30-45 minutes a day. So I would just come back home, charge it. Yeah, I wouldn't charge it as fast as you would want it to, but over the course of the week, it would be at a higher percentage. So depending on how much you drive and you don't have a home charger or a supercharger nearby, you could potentially get away with that. At the end of the day, I would say it's definitely doable if you don't have a home charger or a supercharger nearby. You just got to start getting creative with how you're going to do this. Or, with the newer models, some of the range has improved, even with the base model. Now it's at 320. So, or if you get the long range, it's 360. So definitely way better than what I got. The second con of this car is weather. Kentucky isn't too extremely cold or too extremely hot, but on the peak winters or peak summers, you do get a little bit cooler, especially if there's a winter storm, or if it's just really hot, 90, 100 plus degrees sometimes. Sometimes here in Kentucky, I don't know, Kentucky's weather changes a lot, so it's kind of unpredictable. But this, in my opinion, is something that does suck. You especially notice it in winter. In the summertime, at least here in Kentucky, it's not too bad. But depending on where you live, take note. So for the winter times, but especially if there's a snowstorm or whatever, you do have battery drain. Yeah, you can turn off your Sentry mode and like all these other things that won't run in the background, so that way you won't be losing as much battery. But even with all that, I still sometimes, if it's just sitting outside, will still lose from like 5, 10, maybe 15%, depending on how cold it is and how long it's been outside and if I've been using it or not. And then if you are using it, it's gonna lose more because then it has to heat up, and then you're driving and coming back, and especially if you don't have a charger at home, then it gets a little bit like scarier. So I would try and, I don't know, maybe you have a garage, or maybe you live in a hotel and there's garages that you can like rent out or whatever. Maybe if you keep your car in there, it won't lose as much because the temperature won't be as cold as it is outside. But the battery drainage from weather is honestly something that kind of sucks and blows, especially like in the wintertime. Like I said, even like on trips, you're gonna see that the battery's draining a little bit faster than normal, and that's just kind of like not what you want out of a car. But like I said, it doesn't stay too cold here, so it's like about a month and a half that you kind of got to deal with it. It sucks, but it's like manageable. But like I said, I moved to Florence, and then I moved to Louisville to go to college, and luckily the college actually had a charger near where I was living, so I could charge it there even when it was snowing. So therefore, even if it was cold, it's still at 100%. And I got lucky enough that it was actually free charging. So like I said, you just gotta find chargers nearby or ways to like manage this. But this is an important note. Like I said, if you're using a used Tesla, the ranges won't be as good as the newer, brand new Teslas, because the base model, like I said, is around 320. The long range is now at 360, so better mileage for you guys if you guys are planning to buy new. If not, just be aware, depending on where you live, that if you do buy used, just be a little bit wary about that. Range anxiety is true, and the drainage of the car, depending on the weather, is also true. But now let's get into like the real good side of this car and why I love Tesla so much. And I bet even if you already have a Tesla, this is probably why you love Tesla as much as I do. FSD is such a game changer. FSD, or full self-driving, if you don't know. I use this thing. I didn't buy FSD outright when it was still available. Now it's not. Now it's a monthly subscription. And me personally, I just did the monthly subscription. Honestly, I didn't really notice like the $100. And if you do the math, it's like $3 a day. So like if you buy excessive amount of like energy drinks or like small things that are reoccurring in your life, if you just cut back on that, it's gonna like, you're gonna be basically wasting the same amount of money that you would have anyways, just without buying the stuff and just purchasing FSD. I highly recommend it. I know some people are wary. I don't trust the car. I'm a better driver. You can say all that, but when you have long drives or like hour, 2 hour plus, and then you have to go back, so you got some road trips coming along, FSD is such a game changer. You don't want to even think about driving. Honestly, I feel like you're more aware of your surroundings than if you were just like tunnel vision looking ahead, because while you're driving, if you're like turning to like look to your left or right or behind you while you're driving, sometimes you get caught off guard from the front and then you're not paying attention. But with FSD, it's so nice. I just can't describe it in words. You just have to try it out. It's less stressful, more relaxed. Honestly, I feel safer when it's driving. Even if FSD messes up, like you're still there to like take over. And most of the time, once you get like used to like FSD, you kind of realize how it works. You kind of realize like, oh, it's about to mess up. Let me take over real quick, and then you put it back on FSD. But in all honesty, I used about 80%, 90% of the time FSD on my car. Mainly on highways. I would love to drive in the city, so that's when I would drive, mainly in the city. But when I'm getting on highways, FSD always on. This is Tesla related. Like if you want to get a different type of EV that's not Tesla, I don't recommend that. I personally haven't experienced any other EV besides Tesla, but just with like the charging network, Tesla has the best out of all the other EVs. They have over like 60,000 superchargers, if I'm correct here. Especially depending on where you live, there's probably gonna be more superchargers on like more populated cities, bigger states. But even where I live, like just like having like there's always gonna be like, so like when you drive like certain places, like for me, for example, Louisville to Indianapolis or Bloomington or Nashville or these other places, you always have like the same route, because you gotta stop and charge here, and then you kind of get used to it. It does suck a little bit, but honestly, you're not there for more than 20 minutes. And honestly, I take a lot of breaks throughout my drives to go pee, snack, get snacks, energy drinks, whatever it is. So this honestly wasn't that bad. I would say at worst, at winter times, is when you would have to stay a little bit longer because your batteries are cold and dense, and they have to heat up to charge a little bit faster. So that's when it would suck the most. But the Tesla ecosystem of the charging, you just don't have to worry about if there's not gonna be a supercharger like on your route, on like your route to a road trip or whatever it is, because there more than likely will be. It's just less hassle, more reliability, and just like better placements on your routes. The third pro I would definitely have to say is the app or your like phone. The convenience of that, you can preheat the car, you can defrost the snow. I think I might have some videos of like me defrosting the snow, and I just easily wipe it off. I never have to use like the car scraper. I don't ever have to struggle with that. It's just you heat it up, and once it's heated up, you go outside, you easily remove the snow. It's like less of a hassle, even if it's like frozen ice. Like the car will heat up to where like you can like slide the ice off easily off your car. Just controlling anything, the temperature in your car. You can preheat your battery to like a supercharge. You can route your plans before going into your car. You can open up, if one of your family members or friends left something in the car, you just go on your app. You don't have to go outside with them or give them the keys. You just open the car or the frunk or whatever it is, and then you can close it back up. Maybe not the frunk. You'll have to teach them how to do that manually. But besides that, it's just never having a key on you. It's just like so amazing. I just ended up carrying like my ID and my cards with me, like no wallet ever. And like if you guys know, I guess like as a guy, like having a wallet that's like thick, always in your pocket, just kind of sucks. I know like we just tend to like live with that, but just like not even having that anymore, honestly felt like great to me. So Pro 4 and 5 kind of go together. At least for me personally, this is a personal opinion. It's gonna be the super minimalistic, super clean like interior design. At least for me, like if I get into like a regular gas car now, it's just all bulky. There's a lot of buttons, whatever, and I just don't like that personally. After like driving a Tesla for 2 years, it's just like I personally don't like that. It's cluttered, feels bad. I don't know, just not my style. So that's just very like picky, personal thing. But if that's something that you don't care about, it's probably not gonna be a pro. The sound system and the ride feel are amazing. The sound system, you can adjust like the bass, the singer, if you want to hear his voice more or the beats or whatever it is, you can adjust that within the Tesla menu manually, which I thought was kind of cool. The seats, they're very comfortable, but if you do have like a longer road trip, they start getting uncomfortable, at least on the next side. So you just get like a little pillow or something that goes over the seat that I've seen a lot of people do for the cars. The sound system is very good. The way the car handles, it feels sporty, nimble, it's quick, it's fun to drive even with the rear wheel drive. So I can only imagine if you had the long range, which has a little bit more boost, or if you have the performance. I bet those are such, it feels even better. But even just with the rear wheel drive, it feels perfectly amazing. Just nimble when you turn corners, stuff like that. Just like little fun things that keeps the car exciting. Like even with the rear wheel drive, the boost that you get, still fun. It's always fun. So I could only imagine if you had the performance, it would be even of a better experience. The number 6 thing is it can be a pro and a con. A lot of people think that like Teslas are like really expensive, or because like they used to be, or like they just have them in like a very luxury brand, which I don't mind. I'll take that. But a lot of people would be like, oh, you're rich, oh, you're this, like have like that, which I don't mind. But I just noticed that, and at least me personally, I don't like that type of vibe that people have towards me. Or if people hated Teslas or don't understand EVs when they would get in the car, I would call it the cool factor. They just ask questions, reactions like, how does this charging work? How many mileage does that work? How does this work? How does that work? Just all these things. And me personally, because I like Tesla, I feel like most people that have Teslas love Teslas. So they answer all these questions, and just like having that cool factor of like people that might have not liked Teslas, and then they hop in with me. I show them the car, how it works. They kind of end up falling in love with the car, And I find that to be like entertaining for me because I want more people to drive Teslas. So coming to the conclusion, if you drive normal distances and don't have access to a charger or like a home charger, I would say it's gonna suck a little bit more, but you can definitely manage like I said with the mobile charger or even supercharging. You just gotta find creative ways of doing this. If you really just want to go for it and get a Tesla and experience it for yourself, just go for it. Take that leap of faith. It's gonna be hard. You're gonna have that range anxiety at first. How do I charge? How do I charge? Am I gonna make it? It's gonna work out. Just be creative. Just have fun with it. Such a great experience. Overall, best car I've owned, even though I've only owned one other car besides this, which was a Ford Fusion. Not perfect, but definitely worth it, in my opinion. So if you guys have any comments, questions, whatever it is, please comment some down below. I'll do my best to answer to everyone. Like, subscribe. If you guys want to see more Tesla content, because I'm back on the grind. If you guys have already seen, I've been posting some more shorts, but I want to do some longer form. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if you stuck to the end, thank you, and I'll see you guys with some more Tesla content.